The path that leads to truth is littered with the bodies of the ignorant. Miyamoto Musashi. My friends, our truth is accurate price movement, being able to follow trends. That is what it is all about. And those who don't focus on that, who don't find reliable ways to help see the price movement and follow it and collect the profits from your practice trading, again, are going to be those ignorant ones that litter the path along the way to truth. Don't be one of those. 10 to 15 minutes a day, that is all we ask. Markets are down for the day when it comes to stocks, bonds, and gold up. Bitcoin hammering down again. The New York Stock Exchange Bitcoin Index, friends, is down 5.32%. Bitcoin still a moving down. The price percent oscillator. We'll jump into Bitcoin first, then we'll go to the S&P and go through our standard path. But we have a red down candle forming after a green, solid green candle back on the week ending the 4th of February. That is where we saw the last bottom sort of hit. There, the week ending the end of January, beginning of February, things were slowing down. A solid green candle means a slowdown in the down movement. Then it switched over to a green up candle. Then it started losing energy last week. That was the week ending the 18th of February. We had a red up candle, which is sort of the opposite of the green up, the solid green candle. That's a slowdown in the down movement. A red open box candle is a slowdown in the up movement. And then, of course, this week, we start off on Tuesday after markets were closed yesterday for President's Day with a big down day. Price percent oscillator heading down. Derivative oscillator still negative and losing downward momentum. That's from the 3 prior weeks of the slowdown and then the buildup and then the slowdown of the up move. And we are below now the trend line that we have. It's not a super trend line here at all, but it's the best we can do, and we see that price movement is, of course, decaying. We look at the 2-day, and of course, what do we see here? Well, we see things where, again, a microcosm of what we saw on the weekly. We can see where things slowed down in the down movement, ran up, and then are rolling over and accelerating down. Price percent oscillator positive, but heading down. Derivative oscillator losing upward momentum. We look at the half day, 1, 2, 3 days of strong down movement, accelerating down. Price percent oscillator and derivative oscillator just hammering down. So Bitcoin was gaining some energy, and now we see it dissipating rapidly. So again, doesn't look like Bitcoin is an inverse of our markets at all. It looks like it moves with the stock market. I know there were a lot of people that were hoping it would be something that inversely correlated, that you would see the stocks move down, Bitcoin would either stay the same or move up. And of course, Bitcoin is deteriorating with the market. Now, we look at the S&P 500. It is down for the day 1.04%. And of course, we can see things just hammering down. We haven't reached the low, the most recent low that we reached back on the 28th of January, the week ending then, but we're starting this week off with a strong down candle. Price percent oscillator heading down, derivative oscillator heading down. 2-day chart, again, big red down candle forming. Price percent oscillator, derivative oscillator switched over from green to red. And of course, we look at the half-day chart, 1, 2, 3 days of strong down movement. We had 2.5 days of down movement, then things sort of shifted over, and then they rolled over again. Price percent oscillator, derivative oscillator. So just like Bitcoin, lots of downward pressure here, even more so actually on the S&P. Look at the Nasdaq 100, down 1%. Again, very similar, red down candle forming. Price percent oscillator, derivative oscillator still losing a little bit of downward momentum, but again, very red. We go to the 2-day, and of course we can see where it's heading down. Price percent oscillator spiking over, derivative oscillators gone negative. And the half day, again, strong down movement. Price percent oscillator not as strong, derivative oscillator heading down, but again, lots of downward pressure on stocks and on Bitcoin. Now, what about 20-year bonds? Up for the day a little bit, 0.26%. And of course, as we look at the weekly chart where we always start, we have a solid green candle forming. That's a slowdown in the down movement, isn't hitting that low or below it that it hit last week, the most recent low. We see the price percent oscillator losing a little bit of that downward energy, price percent oscillator doing that, and the derivative oscillator too. 2-day chart, we can see where it is heading up. The prior candle ending on Friday was an open box green spinning top, means indecision tending up, pushed through on Tuesday, the 2-day trend line. So we see that happening. Still below the weekly, price percent oscillator negative but heading up. Derivative oscillator negative, losing downward momentum. And on the half-day chart, again, we can see stuttering but continuing to move up, pushed through the 2-day trend line a couple of days back and sitting right there on the weekly. Derivative oscillator gaining upward momentum, price percent oscillator heading up. So that is where we are on bonds. Again, just starting the week off this way, we'll see if there's enough energy to push back through or if bonds just continue that tunnel down. Now gold up 0.21%, and again starting the week off nicely with a nice green up candle. That's good to see. As we look at the derivative oscillator, it's gaining momentum. Price percent oscillator heading up. That's all well and good. We look at the 2-day, again, reaching a higher high, nice green up candle forming. Price percent oscillator, derivative oscillator heading up, all that's good. And of course, as we look at the half day, we can see where things flattened at the end of the day, losing a little bit of energy there. And the derivative oscillator also, both the price percent oscillator and derivative oscillator still positive, so still well above the weekly, the 2-day, and the half-day chart. So we'll see if gold can just keep on kicking it. That would be nice to see. So we'll keep an eye on things. Markets, stocks, Bitcoin continue to deteriorate. Bonds are trying to hold on. Gold is trying to keep moving up. So we'll see as this week continues to develop. Thanks so much for being with us, folks. 10 to 15 minutes a day. That is all we ask. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth, World Headquarters.